Welcome back, everybody. We're here with another player feature. Today I have one of my good friends, Wargamer Fritz, as he goes by on the internet. This is part of our player series where we're spotlighting the characters we're going to play in our new series called Warhammer 40K Players Play Dungeons & Dragons. Only here on Tabletop Bop. So let's welcome Fritz to the channel. Fritz, how are you doing?
Hey, Bobby, thanks for having me. Join the crew, join this adventure. I'm really pumped to be back playing D&D with some of my 40K friends and kind of hit up that angle and see what we can do.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be a great time. I've already, we made Chris's character on the channel here, so really excited to see yours. And he said that he was very excited to see what you were going to come up with because in the past, you guys have played some interesting duos before.
Yeah, we have. And, you know, we talked a little bit where it's like, do we want to kind of bring some of the old crew, some of the old favorites out? But I think we're doing something a little bit different this time. And I don't want to give away or go out of character knowledge and talk about his character, but I think it's going to be pretty interesting with what he's running and what I'm hoping to run. I don't know anything about the adventure you're running. I don't want to know. I've got some ideas on what I'm going to try and make work. So we'll see.
So let's talk a little bit about Warhammer for a second. Fritz, when did you start playing Warhammer?
So I started playing 40K when it was Rogue Trader in I think it was like 1990. And
wow.
The irony being we're kind of going back to old school here. Everything that Warhammer has opened up for me, like you and I met through playing 40K and a lot of my other friends, I owe that to D&D. Because originally I was running a Dungeons and Dragons campaign and we had started to use miniatures. So we went to the gaming store to buy some D&D miniatures. You know, back in the day, they're probably lead and just crazy. And we're looking at these miniatures on the wall and my buddy says, hey, Fritz, check this out. These orcs have guns. And it was really weird because I'm like, you know, Lord of the Rings, that type of stuff, D&D orcs can't have guns. And we go over and we see this wall of space marines, land raiders, orcs. I didn't even have to know the rules. So at that point, just like jumped in playing 40K. Did that for a long time. And, you know, unfortunately, like most gaming groups, some of my friends moved away. We went to different places. And I wasn't playing 40K for about a year and a half, maybe 2 years. And right out of the blue, I'm like, you know, I'm going to play Warhammer again. I'm going to try and find a group. And I found you guys in the Battle for Salvation, literally just going on the internet, searching out and finding out the rec hall where we were playing at the time is like 2 blocks away from my house. And that just opened up so much with you and a lot of the other guys playing. And the rest is kind of ancient history. But whatever I am in 40K or I'm not, I owe that completely to D&D.
Yeah, that's awesome. So you've been playing D&D since since Warhammer since 1990, and D&D even before that. So
D&D. We started with Advanced Dungeons and Dragons, playing through Kryn, Dragonlance, and I've enjoyed every edition of D&D. I mean, I publicly said I enjoy playing 4.0, you know, at the time. So every flavor, every kind of focus that it's brought, I've enjoyed, and you know, I realized whatever version of D&D you start with, that's kind of your genesis and your DNA. So I tend to look at things in like AD&D terms, but having played so many editions with so many players, I think this is the best rule set. It offers so much flexibility. There's a lot you can do as a DM. I mean, as a player, more options for whatever you want to run. And just with the supplements they're releasing, like, I think this is really the best edition of D&D that I've played.
Yeah, it's a different type of game. I know you and I have played for quite some time in 3rd and 3.5 and a little bit of 4th, but you know, this one is definitely more accessible for whatever you dislike it or you like it. It's definitely more accessible and it's more popular than ever. So today we're going to make your character for our game that we're playing with the 40K players. So you had mentioned that you have a concept in mind. Do you want to share it?
I do. So I find myself gravitating and usually playing either a monk or a sorcerer, sometimes a wizard. But I believe we have another wizard in the party. And one of the things that I try to look at is I ask myself, like, what level are we going to play at? Because that kind of opens up, in my mind, where I can take the character, whether it's a one-off adventure like we're doing here, or part of a campaign. And I think we're coming in at about level 5. So that opened up a lot of options with the sorcerer, because what I was interested in trying to do was take a sorcerer concept and utilize the spells and the abilities of that character to influence things outside of the meta. You know, I know a lot of players look at sorcerers as like, how many D6s can I throw out? And you might not have the spell flexibility, but you have more spells per day. You can cast more. I'm going to try and run. And this is why I appreciate, like, I don't know anything about the adventure we're playing other than it's a great group of guys and a great DM. I'm going to try to run a sorcerer that does not deal any damage.
Oh,
it's going to be, I know, right? Like, that might be a party kill right there. Everyone hears I'm playing a sorcerer and they're expecting me to bring like the major boom boom. Yeah. But I'm going to try and jack charisma. I'm going to try and just like be the ultimate charmer and try to utilize a base of influence spells and illusions.
Okay.
We'll see. That's the concept. That's
the concept.
That's the concept. I know there's a lot of ways to do the different ability scores, and I appreciate, you know, when I'm on the other side of the DM screen, point by, I get it, but I also like rolling the ability scores. But the question is, like, how old school, chaotic, neutral do we want to get? Like, do I want to throw it all on the dice roll and see how it goes? Because I'm going to need that charisma. And if I roll low, I mean, it's going to be sad face.
Well, I would be fine with you. So the way we did with Chris was we rolled 46 and dropped the lowest result. So you'd have 3 dice to add up, and you could put them in, assign them once you're done with all your six rolls.
All right. Let's do it.
Let's go to the roll 20, and I'm going to open up the chat here, so we'll be able to see your rolls on camera. So why don't you roll for us 4d6, and then I'll write them down here, although they'll be recorded in the chat too. All right. So dropping the lowest,
4s.
That would be a 12 with dropping the lowest. That's a solid start.
All right. That's a start.
Another 12.
12, okay.
All right.
Not going to be any penalties.
There's a 10.
10. I'm calling in the favors.
Oh, no. 2, 4, 7. Oh, my God.
7. Need that 16.
You got a 14.
14. I need that.
Get that last one.
Ooh.
Oh, my goodness. Fritz, where did the luck go?
Oof.
So that's a 9? Oh, gosh.
A 9.
Fritz, your total here,
this is not...
know, your total in ability modifiers is a 1.
I know, but the D&D gods have done it.
Oh gosh. Okay.
I don't know. You know, we'll do a reroll. I don't want to let anybody down, but if I'm going to be trying to run a themed character, I need at least 16 charisma.
Yeah, or at least,
you know,
at least not so many negative scores. Because more so than anything, with a one-shot, you're trying to be a part of a group that's going to be capable. You don't want to. Yeah. It's not, with long-form campaign, you could suffer with these, but not for a one-shot. You want to be able to help. Oh dear, a 9.
A 9.
This is comical. You know, Chris rolled amazing.
He always does.
He always does.
He always doesn't matter if it's virtual, if it's 40K, if it's tabletop D&D. It's just
it's his thing. All right, second set.
6, 7. We got 10. We got 10.
A 10. Yep.
13.
13. Yep.
These are supposed to be random, right? I mean, I got to check this randomizer.
10.
4, 5, 6, 9. No. Drop the lowest.
Yeah, lowest is 2,
10.
so 10. Yeah. There we go.
There we go.
That is a 15. That's solid.
15.
Another 13. Now,
13.
That's not bad, though. This is a total
No.
positive of 2, 3, 4. It's actually only a positive of 3. It's actually not as good as it looks, but far fewer negatives. Fewer negatives. And you got that key 15. Now,
I need
you were
that.
thinking about being a Dragonborn, right?
Yeah, so that's going to give me what? +1 charisma and +2 strength?
Yep, so you could bump the charisma to a 16 to start, and then bump it to an 18 for the 4th level jump, which would be very, very good.
Yeah, that's we're going to do that.
Okay. Do we have a name for this Dragonborn sorcerer?
We do. Hissus. HISSISS.
Spell that again. KH.
No, HISS.
Hiss.
ISS.
ISS. Hissus.
Hissus. There we go.
Okay, Hissus. And we've got our sorcerer class, and we are Dragonborn. Any color?
Well, that affects the breath weapon, right? So we'll go with black.
Yeah. Black, so you want the acid?
Yeah, I want the acid.
And you were telling me that the Draconic Ancestry, which makes perfect sense, is a subclass you're looking for?
That's the subclass, yep. We're going to go with that.
So I'm going to pump in your abilities now. So clearly the Charisma is going to be an 18 at this point because of the Charisma bonus for the Dragonborn and your ability score bump at 4th level.
Yeah, I want to put the next highest in the con just to give it that effect, but also just try and boost whatever hit points I can.
Sure. So unfortunately, the 2 13s are all odd numbers, but that's probably going to be a good one to put in for con because you're going to want a bonus.
Yeah, we'll put a 10 there, and then maybe we'll put the 13 in wisdom.
There we go. Okay, 13 in wisdom. Then I think you said the dump stat would be intelligence.
Yeah.
And then dexterity would be 10 as well. So you are very much a non-combatant. You don't want any combat really to see you.
No.
So we'll go to sorcerer stuff in a moment. But now that your ability scores are set, I'm seeing strength as +1, dex as 0, con at +1, intelligence at +1, -1, and wisdom at 1, and then your charisma is big 4, the big +4. So obviously the spell casting for the sorcerer, you get that flexibility of being able to not have to prepare spells, and your origin is going to be the draconic bloodline. Your hit points maximum increases by 1, and 1 again every level. You also gain this is actually going to be very helpful to you because of your low dex. Your AC is equal to 13 plus your dex modifier because of your scaly skin.
Right.
So that's nice. So you're not wearing armor, you'll be at 13. Your speed is 30 feet. And your hit points, let's figure these out. So you start with 6 plus your con, so 7. And then at every level, you're going to get 4 plus your con. So every level you're getting 5. So let's count these up. 27. That's what you start at.
And that is that with the +1 bonus
to the con
for the Dragonborn?
It is not. So 5 more.
32. I got to get everyone I can get.
Absolutely, you do. As a sorcerer, you do. You get a font of magic. So this is the sorcery points. You played a sorcerer before. They let you get some spells back. Basically at this level, at 5th level, you're going to be you get 5 sorcery points. And 2 points can get back a 1st level spell, 3 can get a 2nd, 5 can get a 3rd. So you can get back some spells, or you can use them for your meta magic options. At 3rd level, you get meta magic. This is where you have to make a decision here. You can choose one of the meta magic options, and they will alter your spells. I think empowered spell is the one I always use when I played a sorcerer. It's the one that just gives you more damage, but you're not doing too much damage. So I feel like that might not be useful for you.
I'm not really planning to take any damage spells.
Yeah.
We have to see. So I'd rather try and see if there's a way to extend or boost the duration of something. We get into some illusions or things like that. Yeah, let's go with the one to extend the range.
Okay.
So this way, if in theory, if there's something in the backfield that I want to hit, it's further out, we could do that.
Right, and you're probably going to want to be away from it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we'll go for the throw out at disadvantage. Make you roll that extra D20, and maybe you get a 1 for your save.
So 5th level, you don't gain anything. You just have an extra sorcery point. And now we look at your spells. So we have 6 spells known, and you can cast 4 first, 3 second, and 2 third. You also know 5 cantrips. I'm just going to double check back with the Dragonborn, but how do you think so far how he's turning out?
Yeah, pretty good. The charisma's big, and I think coming in at 5th level, that was another influence in picking a sorcerer over a monk, because if I get the duality of throwing my spells further, trying to charm or illusion or influence, or just to force you to reroll to take that disadvantage, I'm feeling pretty good.
But you know what's one thing I'm looking here? This would be totally a metagamey and not in the spirit of the game type of idea here. But you're getting acid resistance from Dragonborn. You also get a resistance of your draconic bloodline. Just because you're Black Dragonborn doesn't mean you couldn't then choose in your sorceress origin red, blue, whatever, like to double up on that. Now, I don't know how you feel on that. Like, are you half Black Dragon?
I could explain. I could explain it away role playing. We could do it. We could do it that way somehow.
Yeah. So in theory, you could totally choose a different dragon ancestry for the sorcerer origin. Like maybe so your draconic, your appearance is Black Dragon from being a Dragonborn, but the magic that was imbued in you came from maybe the blue or the red dragon side of your family, something like that.
Yeah, or I'd say something like Blessings of Takesis or something like that. Just the many heads giving me that red bloodline also.
Yeah.
Right. I would take that if you're okay with it, because I really want that fire resistance.
Okay. Yeah. For in the Forgotten Realms, Tiamat, or something like that, where like you said, maybe you come from a multi-headed dragon god. Sure, why not?
You're gonna hit us with ice the whole game and like everything else.
In terms of skills, what are you thinking for this guy?
This is hard, because it's like what to face, and I have an idea of what some of the other guys are playing, but not like fully. Mm-hmm. And even Chris, we always try to complement each other, but he's kind of going into uncharted territory. I would want to take more of the influence aspects.
Okay. Yeah, to use your constant charisma, I mean.
Yeah, to utilize that, because I following this kind of the sorcerer bloodline thing, I think I would draw more of my magic from that intuition or that heritage, as opposed to like our actual arcane knowledge.
Okay.
Plus my intelligence is -1, so
yeah,
I'll be fighting that. Let's start with persuasion and intimidation. Okay,
so you get those two. So backgrounds. There are obviously a bunch in the PHB and even more in the supplements, but I don't know how crazy you want to get looking for the right background here, but is there one that stands out to you from the list, at least ones that you're familiar with here?
I mean, there isn't in terms of specific background to adjust it, and I mean, we're not really going into too much detail with a one-off on that, right?
No, not really. But if you are looking to be enhance your social skills, maybe the charlatan background would work well for you, because you do get deception and sleight of hand. And you get tool proficiencies, which is something you don't get, a disguise kit and a forgery kit.
Yeah, let's that might be useful. Let's go with that.
So rather than go through the equipment, because you're not going to wear armor, you're not going to use weapons really.
Right.
Although I don't know, maybe if you want to have a dagger just to have, that way you count as like a threat, technically, on the battlefield.
Yeah.
Something like that, a staff even. Then you can.
I mean, I'll take a dagger. I mean, it's just you got to have something if it gets that. I'm basically looking at the list of charm spells, illusion spells, and in theory, I think we're still low enough level, because we're only 5th level, putting out some of the lower area of effect spells.
You actually, it's funny, most characters would take Fireball as like a #1 sort of spell right away when you get to 5th level, but you have different options here.
Yeah, it's like, usually if I'm playing, it's like you hit 5th level, Fireball, Lightning Bolt. Like that's like the rite of passage in D&D, but we're going to try and hit up some of those other spells that are not used as much. Yeah, for 2nd level invisibility, that's my like things go bad, get out of here. So we're going to take invisibility. We're going to take hold person, 2nd level. Major image.
Major image. Yep, for sure. That's the illusion right there.
Yeah, that's like the convincing illusion. We'll do friends. And we'll do light.
And light. Yeah, you do need light. Because you have no dark vision. So light, friends, minor image, minor illusion, mage hand, and dancing lights. All right, so then we go to your last 3rd level spell.
So I took major image.
Mm-hmm.
So the question is dispel magic or
counter spell, fly. You also have to be careful because a lot of these spells are concentration ones.
Well,
like dispel and counterspell are all, you do them once and that's it. Counterspell is a reaction, so it's even quicker. But counterspell, dispel, you really can't go wrong with either of those two.
But so I'm looking at 3rd level for the offensive capability. So I'm going to try and role play the major image and push that out. But if we're in combat or if we're doing something, even with the time it's going to take to cast, I'm thinking hypnotic pattern. That's one where it throws up a pattern and fascinates.
It's actually very good. Yes, it is. Yeah.
Outside of the social aspects, when we get in there, if I can use some of those illusions, if I can throw those up, and maybe utilize that to position or have Chris's rogue get into a better position, just create some terrain on the fly, do something there, and then push those out.
You're 100% right, though. People are going to expect you to be pumping out damage.
Right. Yeah. It's party kill will get all blamed on me because I just couldn't spam Fireball every other round. But and I think invisibility is what's going to try and save me.
Right.
Fly would be good because I think not knowing what we're going to face, I know that depending on the challenge rating and the modules, like once you hit level 5 to 8, things get vertical where now you're fighting monsters that can fly, can do things. So to not have that piece, I don't know, I might regret it, but I can't have everything.
I'm happy with it though, Fritz. This is going to be a very different character. I'd like to see how it plays out.
Yeah. No, I'm excited for it. And I feel very good with that charisma, but I would have played him either way if I just had like a 14.
Yeah. Thoroughly excited to play. I want to thank you for coming on to the channel and chatting with us.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what we can do, what we can create here.
That's right.
And again, just to be able to play with some of the 40K guys, get that D&D vibe going, that D&D angle.
Yeah, and for those of you who haven't checked out Fritz before, if you do play Warhammer or any tabletop game, really, Fritz, you talk about everything on your channel.
Yeah, with 40K, we're doing BattleTech. I've been jumping into historicals. My good friend Dave just pulled me into that, and it's just been a money sink in a good way. So I'm excited to play with Chris because usually our D&D sessions are I'm the DM and I got to put up with his machinations as a player all the time. So now I'm glad to be on the same side as him, same team as him.
Yeah, you're on the same team. If you haven't seen it, you should definitely go check it out. You post stuff pretty much daily, if not every other day at the very least.
Yeah, I try to do daily. It's just kind of like get home from work and check out YouTube, check out like what you're doing, some of the other channels, what they're doing, and paint some stuff and make some vlogs and videos, just kind of hobby in the moment, what's going on. So sometimes some tactics or come home from playing a game and we'll just kind of talk about it, just whatever's in the moment, trying to build that community.
Thank you, Fritz, for coming on, and we will see everyone on Saturday, December 19th, where we play 40K Players Play D&D right here on Tabletop.
Excited. Thank you.
All right, everybody. See you on the tabletop.